Good morning. Hi, everybody. Just coming to you on this Friday morning. Every once in a while, I'll wake up and I'll have a song in my head. And so this morning, I had this song that I'm playing from the movie Sister Act 2, which I think was made in 1993 maybe or something like that. Anyways, it's one of those fun family friendly movies that I love to watch. Anyways, so this morning I had this song in my head and I just thought how kind of cool that my unconscious mind will just get a song in its head so I can wake up to something that has been, I don't know, brewing in my head. And yeah, so this was the song that was in my head when I woke up this morning. I'll play more of it at the end of our lecture today. But if you haven't checked out Sister Act 2, I would definitely recommend. It's worth the $3.99 rental. So if any of you know who the Fugees are, it's Lauryn Hill is in this movie, and of course Whoopi Goldberg's in this movie. All right, I'm going to lower it and we'll get started. So today we're talking about emotional intelligence and Howard Gardner's 8 intelligences. So we're in week 6. If you go to our quarantine week here, you'll see that today is not heavy in work. You're actually going to take the Howard Gardner's intelligence test, and that's really it, and we'll score it on Monday. So once again, a cliffhanger of taking an intelligence test and then scoring it later. Sorry. So let's talk a little bit about some other types of intelligence. I think the big thing when it came to things like the Stanford Benayers, the Wechsler scales, is that people were like, this isn't necessarily what intelligence is, that intelligence isn't just about your ability to reason and logic, that your intelligence also encompasses other things like emotional intelligence, being able to read people's emotions, being able to understand your emotions. If anything that this time has taught us, it's taught us maybe a little bit more about our own emotional intelligence, maybe about others' emotional intelligence. So the EQ, or the emotional intelligence quotient, was devised in 1990. And since then, there's been a lot of studies done with emotional intelligence. Even our schools today teach about emotional intelligence through programs like health and wellness and through counseling programs, things like that. So emotional intelligence is the ability to be self-aware, recognizing your own feelings when you're getting anxious, maybe when you're feeling sad, those types of things. Emotional intelligence can also be the ability to control those moods. Mood management, being that if I feel like myself starting to get angry, that how can I control that to be a level of anger that is workable, that I can work with people with, that I'm not just going off the cuff and storming out of the room. Self-motivation is a type of emotional intelligence, that confidence, that self-efficacy we have, the enthusiasm we have to approach things. Right now, many of you are finding that self-motivation is something that you may be mastering or struggling with. And that's going to be normal. But you understanding that is increasing your emotional intelligence, or your EQ. Impulse control, going and grabbing that snack, even though you just ate a huge lunch. And then, of course, people skills, your ability to empathize, understand, and communicate with others, cooperate with others. So this is another type of intelligence. We actually aren't going to take the EQ. You can go online and take some different types of EQs. The one that you want to take that has the strong validity and reliability is the one that has been produced by Salovey and Mayer. Okay. And I don't know if that's available free online, or if that's something you would have to pay for or go to a psychologist to actually get. The one we're going to take today is Gardner's multiple intelligence. So Gardner said, okay, logic, reasoning, Yeah, definitely. That's one type of intelligence, but there's so many more. And so Gardner created a multiple intelligence instrument or test, we could say. It's more of an instrument, though, because this particular instrument, you're not going to always have the same score at various points in your life. It just depends on what your focuses are in your life and what you're working on to become more intelligent. So Gardner says there's 8 different types of intelligence, and you can see this little wheel on our presentation talks about each 8, but I'm actually going to show you a video about the 8. He says we have every single one of these types of intelligence. They just vary in their intensity. So maybe for me, my personal skills are really, really strong, whereas maybe my musical skill is not as strong. So they vary in intelligence and they do change over time. That we do have intellectual potentials, it's something that's not set in stone. Our ability, our intelligences can be something we nurture also and get stronger at. So this is Gardner's multiple intelligence theory, and he has 8. I'm going to talk to you about that. Keep in mind he has 8 because we're only going to test for 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this video together. This multiple theory of multiple intelligence. It's about a 4-minute video.
So when you think of intelligence, you normally think of the one intelligence that most people refer to, and that is intellectual intelligence. And Howard Gardner says there are actually multiple types of intelligence, and I'm going to go through them with this video. Now the first is called logical mathematical intelligence, and this is basically what you think of when you think of intellectual intelligence. This would be stuff like logic, or if you're good at taking tests, you will probably have pretty high logical mathematical intelligence. This also has to do a lot with critical thinking and making and reading graphs, as well as organization. If you like to organize your stuff and keep it very organized and are good at organizing it, then you probably have very high logical mathematical intelligence. Now the second one is called verbal linguistic. And if you have high verbal linguistic intelligence, you are probably good at saying that word. You are good at poems, you are good at rhyming words, finding words that rhyme, you are good at reading and writing, and you're good at learning other languages. You learn them pretty quickly compared to other people. And you're probably great at turning a little tiny story into a huge, fascinating story that can enthrall an entire room. The third is interpersonal. And interpersonal intelligence would be like understanding other people's emotions, understanding what the social etiquette and norms are of the situation. You have to be able to be good at reception to other people's moods and what motivates them. If you are a business administrator and you're good at motivating someone, you probably have pretty high interpersonal intelligence. If you're a good leader or just a manager in general, and you can coordinate work with other people, you are probably really intelligent in this interpersonal field. The fourth is body kinesthetic, which means you are good at handling and maneuvering your own body. You can handle objects skillfully and basically move them around however you want them to, as well as your body. People that are very intelligent in the body kinesthetic field are dancers, actors, soldiers, and even many sports athletes. The fifth is musical intelligence, and this is associated with rhythmic and harmonic music. Being able to interpret sounds, rhythms and tones and pitches, and being able to understand them on a level that most people can't understand. If you're good at this, you could probably compose or at least play an instrument. The next is visual spatial, and this is like basically how well can you visualize something in your mind's eye? How well can you think of something in your mind? And another example of this would be how well can you get through a maze? Can you see it in your mind's eye where you're at in the maze or a cornfield? And Gardner went so far as to say that this could even be used as to judging distances, or how well can you read a map? And the next type of intelligence is called intrapersonal intelligence. And this is different from interpersonal intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence is more about how you understand yourself. Are you self-aware? Do you know what feelings you are feeling, what emotions go through your mind when you're in certain situations? How well can you control your thoughts and actions and feelings in general? Do you know your strengths and weaknesses? And the last, which came out a couple years after Howard Gardner came out with his multiple intelligences theory, is called natural intelligence, naturalistic intelligence. And this has to do with being able to recognize stuff in the real world. Basically, flowers and trees and anything that's living. Hunters and fishermen are pretty intelligent in the naturalistic field. So are chefs and botanists that can grow plants, and basically anyone that has learned in any biological science is pretty intelligent in the naturalistic field. Anyways, my next video is going to be on how you can improve these, how you can become a better person through improving each one of these single intelligences to become a better human being, a smarter, a more intelligent being. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, subscribe because I'll be putting out more videos like this soon.
Okay, so in this video, he talks about the 8 different intelligences. The test that I have for you tests 7. Unfortunately, the test that I have for you was not designed to test the naturalistic one. And so ever since that I've been using Howard Gardner's test and giving that to my students, I haven't found one that uses the naturalistic intelligence that scores it at the same reliability as Gardner's. Howard Gardner passed away, and before he passed away, or after he passed away is when the naturalistic was added. And so the test that I have does not have Howard Gardner's naturalistic, because that was his neo-Gardners that put that in there. So unfortunately, if you want to find one, maybe you can find one. I do believe most of Gardner's tests, though, are paid now. So again, this is kind of like a bootleg copy. So let's go ahead and talk about how you're going to do this test. So we're going to go into Schoology and go into I have no idea what just happened there. Okay, we're going to go into Friday's folder. Always a purple folder, and you'll see the Gardner chart. The Gardner chart just shows you the 8 different intelligences, okay? It's just kind of a review thing. But you're going to go into the multiple intelligence PDF here, and it is a PDF, so you are going to need another sheet of paper to write your answers down because you are unable to write in the PDF. But basically you can see, please indicate for the following items the degree to which you think the stated characteristic or behavior fits the individual in question. Circle the appropriate number. Now, I think the hardest thing about this, there's no right or wrong answer. You're taking an instrument. It's not really a test. So the hardest thing about this is sometimes the wording of these are a little confusing. You may have to Google a word to understand what they want you to do. So for instance, let's say right here. So what I'm going to do is it's on a scale of 0 to 4. 0, I'm unsure. 1 fits not at all, meaning it's so not me. And 4 fits strongly. So for instance, let me go to one that's usually kind of a hard one for people to tell. Let's see here. I don't remember which number it is. There's 40 something here. And let's go to, all right, this one always causes problems. Number 27, economical in the use of movements. So what they mean is, how economical in the use of movements are you? Like for me, I'm extremely economical in my use of movements. If I need to pee, let's say, I'm not getting up off the couch unless I need to pee and I want to get a glass of water and maybe something to eat. I'll hold it, because I don't want to just get up off the couch and stop what I'm doing and working and go to the bathroom. So I'm very economical in my movements. I plan kind of a series of things before I actually move. Whereas if you're not economical in your movement, you're like, I don't care, I'm just going to get up and go do this, But my movements are very planned in my body movement. So you can see some of these questions are a little hard in terms of trying to figure out. If you have a question about it, since you have a whole weekend, you can email me and ask, hey, Ms. Rivera, what do they mean by this question? Okay. Or you can Google. But you're taking this question, you're taking this instrument, you're taking all 42 questions and writing your answers down on a scale of 0 to 4 for each one. And then on Monday, I'll show you how to grade this. All right, guys, I'm going to finish off here with a little bit of the choral music of Sister Act 2. And I'm wishing you guys a great weekend. Hopefully this has been a fairly chill week for you for DE Psych. We do have our tests coming up. I've been working hard grading your Human Growth and Development Reader's Notebooks. We have our next Reader's Notebook, Thinking Language and Intelligence, due Wednesday, day of the test. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Bye.